This Warframe game mode caused so much controversy it had to be straight up deleted. It's been gone for over a decade. Solar Rails allowed huge player alliances of over 1,000 players to take complete control of entire parts of planets. This comes with a massive problem, allowing those alliances to tax every player in the entire game who goes to that node whether they liked it or not, meaning unfortunate players could have most of the resources and credits from that area taken away from them. If you're a casual player, you're screwed. Since the benefits are so high for alliances, when two groups wanted to be the ones to tax a node, it became a full-scale alliance war. This unique game mode was the first real test for PvP in Warframe's history, and it was extremely ambitious. Defending alliances get to design the level that the attackers play, putting in enemies, turrets, and objectives, with the goal of defeating as many attackers as possible. Once the defenders have defeated 20 attackers, they're permanently locked out of the fight. Attackers must traverse through the defender's battleground while dying as few times as possible. If they can destroy all key objectives, they'll increase their overall chances of taking over the node. After a set amount of time, if the attackers had won enough, they would become the new owners of the node, being able to set their new taxes on players. To balance the game mode, there were certain restrictions applied to your gear, such as companions being disabled and your abilities, weapons, and mods were gained over the course of the mission instead of immediately. With all of these mechanics, you'd think the game mode was balanced. And it was! The biggest alliances just figured out how to completely ignore all of it. It's important to note, though, that players from these alliances were not the only ones who could participate in the battle. Alliances could set a battle pay on the node, paying out credits to any player who wanted to support their side in the conflict. It became more about the credits, not the players. This creates a rich-get-richer problem, where the biggest alliances with the most money could pay people to fight for them, then tax everybody afterwards to make all of their money back. But this is only the beginning of the issues with this mode. The way the system is designed made issues impossible to avoid. The biggest and largest of alliances naturally dominated the game mode, taking over most nodes as they simply had the most resources to defend them. This ordinarily wouldn't be an issue. However, most of the top alliances decided to collude with one another, opting not to attack other top alliances, resulting in a battlefield where it was the most powerful taking advantage of the weakest. This allowed these alliances to just continue stacking up credits and resources, making defeat nearly impossible. Solo or casual players were absolutely crushed, and small alliances had no chance of taking a node. And if that wasn't bad enough, the biggest alliances figured out an even better way to retain control of the solar rails that they had. Huge alliances forming one big team helped them to win basically every time, but on the odd occasion, it would be possible for a small alliance to break through and win a node for a short period of time. But with this trick, there would be no chance of that happening. Solar rail conflicts were no longer competitive or exciting. At this point, they were becoming scripted. See, when you want to attack an alliance defending their solar rail, it was simply up to who could click the fastest on the node after it was available to be attacked. This left a major flaw in the design, where alliances could simply, well, attack themselves. People from the largest alliance team would create alternate accounts, set up the bare minimum for a clan, and then rush to be the first to attack their own solar rails. Why would they do this? Because they would have no reason to actually participate in the fight. They wouldn't set up any battle pay, wouldn't attack their own node, and it would turn into essentially a completely free defense. This meant that not only could smaller alliances not win attacks against the solar rails, it meant now they couldn't even attack at all. Last but not least, as with a lot of PvP games, the environment did end up getting pretty toxic, with instances where Digital Extremes, the creators of Warframe, were getting death threats over the game mode. Solar rail conflicts were introduced in April of 2014, and with all of these controversial issues, they lasted a little over a year, being removed in March 2015. Solar rail conflicts did not fail because they were a bad concept. Quite the opposite. The concept and most of the execution was actually great. The issue was the constant abuse and collusion from the biggest alliances. So why even bring solar rail conflicts back at all? I think one of Warframe's biggest issues is that they struggle to keep endgame players sticking around for long periods of time. Most only return for major updates. A permanent competitive mode like solar rail conflicts could fix that issue. And despite all of its issues, there's a few things they actually did right. Allowing defenders to design the battlefield was a great concept, it just needs more variety to prevent there from being a single best strategy. Regaining gear over the course of the battle was actually one of the smartest ways of nerfing Tenno Warframe has ever attempted. Battle pay is great as long as it doesn't turn into Warframe capitalism. The first major fix to make is just to remove the PvP aspects from the game mode entirely. Keeping it PvE would immediately fix any toxicity. Taxing players is fundamentally unfair. No one should be punished for just playing the game. Instead, controlling a node should reward the Alliance's players with credits and resources, not take away from everyone else's. And to prevent the strongest alliances from bullying weaker ones, we simply implement a ranking system to make them fight each other instead. Hardcore modifiers and speedrunning based gameplay could keep it up to date with modern game modes. But the last thing Digital Extremes wants to do is hire a moderator for the game mode. But if they do, I'm available, put me in.